So, hey there, everyone. My name is Alex Rodriguez. Some people call me Rowdy, other people just rather call me Alex. So, I was going to talk about how, personally, the Leafs won again, 6-3 to the Philadelphia Flyers. In Philadelphia, Austin Matthews hit 51 goals. Jack Campbell looked pretty normal. And that's pretty much what I saw. Wayne Simmons actually scoring his first goal in like 33 games, which I didn't think was real until they actually showed up on the screen. But besides the point, I there was watching the game in Oakville, Ontario. I currently live in Brantford, Ontario, because as you could see by the left hand picture, one of my hockey heroes was there, Curtis Joseph. So my big resounding plan was that I was going to interview CUJO for me to for me to send into the podcast as my video idea. So I did meet him. I did ask politely to see if I could get an interview with him, and he politely declined it, which I totally understand. It was mainly because that there was a whole lot of back room type deals, because some of the questions that I did want to ask him were necessarily like hush hush, like mostly about the Leafs goaltending situation and whether or not he felt that the Leafs goaltending could take them all the way in the playoffs. I was going to ask him other things about like what he was doing, so I was at Monaghan's, probably getting that name wrong, or Monaghan's. There's the name, Monaghan's. Sports Pub and Grill in Oakville, Ontario. Shout out. Yeah, and I got some autographs from him. I clearly got my photo with him. Yeah, and but I did get one thing answered though, where on the podcast, Steve asked, or everyone asked, or wondered who the player was that said to CUJO when he was putting on his Detroit gear that it didn't look right on him after he left Toronto the year prior and entered free agency. And surprisingly, CUJO did not know who it was, but he did confirm that it was not Sean Avery because he's really good friends with Sean Avery, and he stated that Sean Avery probably never say that to him at all. But just by some basic debunking, I had to think that it would have been Henrik Zetterberg because he was a free agent in that 03-04 season, and like a lot of Swedes, Zetterberg would have watched the Maple Leafs, so it would have made sense. Now, I'm not necessarily going to state like whether or not I am fit, like what qualifications I have. Necessarily, what I wanted to prove here was like, even though I didn't get what I wanted to get from Curtis Joseph, I still just felt his warm presence. He even let me sit with him for like a majority of the game, and the manager or owner of the sports grill let me do that because there was just different things going on. But yeah, I met one of my hockey heroes. That's for sure, and it's what's drew mine to actually meet CUJO because I seem to I come from a background where a lot of the things that CUJO went through are kind of similar in the way that I went through. So just having that as an experience was good, and it's like how by applying to be the host of Game Over Toronto, I want to chase a dream. So my dream is to be within sports media and to follow the team that I love the most. And I pretty much have been side by side with the Leafs for ever since I can remember, and they've been with me through thick and thin because the team necessarily represents kind of everyone, I believe, no matter what background you come from, no matter what things you've been through in life, you still have something that is beside you, and you know that your team, which is Toronto, is going through that same pain with you too. And I think that's just the general appeal with Toronto. It's just no matter where you are in life, like you can just seem to connect to the team, no matter what happens. And yeah, saying that, like I'm not necessarily like the most tech savvy. Heck, this is my first time using the OBS system right now. But I just want to be an example that you don't necessarily have to come from like some form of higher education or some form of good beginnings in your life for you to chase your dreams and for you to do something that you absolutely adore and you have a passion for. And that's why I am making this video right now. And even though if I do not get selected or hired, I totally understand because just due to lack of qualifications. But in solace, it's good for you to chase like whatever you're trying to chase because that's the whole point in life. And I just want to spread necessarily that message if I were to become the host of Game Over Toronto, and if I did get hired by SDPN, I believe in the company. I believe in the messages that they stand for. I believe in everything that Adam Wilde, Stephen Glenn, and Jesse Blake are doing. Adam Berkshire, who is the current host of Game Over Montreal, and he's doing a fantastic job. And just all the people that work at SDPN, Julie McKenzie, Chris Johnson, who I absolutely adore, love the man. Alan Walsh was absolutely awesome. Nuxie and Katz, who are making strides to make women's hockey more of a household name and more talked about subject within the hockey realm. And yeah, so like even though I don't get picked, at least I have an experience for myself and just a really worthwhile thing that I can just remember.